Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Nathan, otherwise known as DigiNate. Welcome to part 2 of animating a GIF in After Effects. Hopefully you'll be able to pick up some cool tips. So in the last tutorial we made a static file for the MP4 file type. Today we're going to animate the file in a 3D on the 3D plane. We already have a process, what I've called a processing file, which will be the back of the MP4 file. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new document. The width is 4196 by 3000. This is totally arbitrary, it could be anything we want. I have a background color of just an off black, dark grey apparently. So I really need to see that grey, so I'm going to create a new shape layer. Just going to call that BG for the time being and lock that off. Sorry about that. Let's save it as well. So processing MP4. Boom. Right, let's import some files. So Command I. We have normal file MP4, which we created in the last tutorial. We also have this cogs processing animation, which we used, which we created in looping animation with expressions in After Effects 2017. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out. I'll include it in the show notes if you can't find it. It's basically giving you a really small line of code to basically loop it infinitely. Yeah, excuse my messy folder structure. I've been under the cosh, as you would call it, for this particular project. But today I've got a little bit more space to. So there it is, processing file. Yeah, got a little bit more time to actually create a video for this one. So we've imported our MP4 and our cog. So let's bring that down into those two down into stage. Bring that above the background, like so. Okay. So as you can see, these ain't doing nothing. But maybe if we can make sure that the cogs are playing. Yeah, see, they are, but they're rendering and my computer's really slow. The RAM's really low on this computer. So if we just undo the movement. Hey! What's wrong with you? You're looking kind of down to me. Right. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new camera layer. So we go to Layer, New Camera Layer. Also, so we're going to call that. Well, we're just going to keep it as camera. To no camera, fine. Preset. We're going to have as 35mm. I'm not 100% sure what this preset does. I just do it and it works. So yeah, just set to 35mm. I studied film, so 35mm is one of like the standard sizes in film. So I've always just chose that, and then most film SLR cameras are that. So I don't know why I just go to 35mm. It's just one of those things. I'm guessing it doesn't really make too much of a difference when you're working in After Effects, and you probably change it at a later time. But at the moment, yeah, this is how I work. So if we go back to and do that again, and I'll show you something. Camera 35mm. Okay. So yeah, we've got this camera layer now, and but there's nothing 3D about these yet, so we're going to make these 3D layers. Now this is really simple. You literally right click, select 3D layer, it gives you, whoa, hello, gives you these options here, and we're going to do that for the processing file. 3D layer, and it gives you just some options in the transform area. Okay, so if I just let that render out. Again, nothing's changed so far. We've literally just added a camera layer and converted our layers to 3D layers. that just is like setting up the process for the next stage of actually rotating these around. So if we go back to our example here, yep, so it's just flipping around like so. Now bear with me whilst we deal with this. Don't know why that went onto the render screen there. Okie dokes. So I'm going to so I'm going to add some keyframes here. So I'm going to add some keyframes to do the transform. So as you can see, they're not totally aligned, so I'm going to quickly align them, even though it probably doesn't matter in the long run, because the first thing we need to do is actually hide the process file. So I'm going to bring my pointer right to the end and just hide that completely. So that's 0. Bye-bye. Sorry about that. So that's now hidden. Can't see it. So that's now hidden. Now the thing is, if we unhide that, actually, because I forgot to do something, is that it's actually the wrong orientation. So if I hide this one, yeah, that's not going to work, because it needs to be, if you think about it in a three-dimensional sense, it needs to be the back, literally the back of the MP4 file. So this little cut-off area needs to align with that little cut-off area. So we need to flip that. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is flip that, rather than and then make it invisible. So this is where this is where our whoops, wrong one. So this is where our 3D-ness comes into it. So the Z rotation rotates it on its central axis on a 2D plane there. The Y rotation rotates it on a Y axis, which is the axis we're going to use, and the X rotation is a vertical axis. So here we're going to flip the Y rotation to 180. Boom! There we go. So just heard an air raid siren and everybody's telling me that they heard it too. So we're going to unhide this file, and now they're totally misaligned. So we need to align them again. Not a massive issue if they're not aligned in this folder, but my OCD just says align Nathan. It was not a massive issue, because then we were allowing it correctly in the GIF. There we are. So totally aligned. Now we're going to make this disappear. So that's I don't believe you have to create a keyframe for that, but that's the original state of that file is now invisible. The original state of this file is visible. So we're going to create, in 10 frames in, we're going to create some keyframes and change that. So the first thing we're going to do is create a keyframe here on the Y rotation, and a keyframe on this one on the Y rotation and the opacity, because that's going to change in a minute. And then 5 frames in, which is 15 frames, I'm going to create another keyframe on these two and change their position. So Y rotation, remember, is on the horizontal axis, so I'm just going to go 180, so it's doing a complete 180, so it's basically flipping it. And on this one here, we're going to go to 0, but also make it 100% visible. And then also make this one invisible. So you've got to make sure that's... So if we go back and we show you what we've just done, that's really fast, first of all, so let's slow that Let's slow that baby down. Jeez, far too quick. So you're literally slowing it down by just increasing the space between the keyframes. Always save. Whoops. 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 Whoa, come on, computer. Yeah, okay, that's stopped. Yeah, I just noticed that that keyframe is saying that it's invisible, so I need to add a keyframe here and make that 100%. Let's try again. Oopsie. So no oopsie. So see what I've done there. So I've added a keyframe of 100% at the beginning of the animation, and a keyframe here of 0% at where the animation finishes for that particular file type, and it's just got a slow fade out. So I want to have it around about. I want to start the fade out around about here, so that's literally in the middle. So I'm going to add a keyframe there and make that 100%, and then I'm going to add a keyframe for this layer. And what's that? Why is that that? So that's 0. So yeah, so 0 for the cogs layer needs to be up back there, but this particular frame needs to be 0. Hello. And then this one, so that's changing to 100%. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I'm going to press play on that. It's going to be really jerky. As you can see, it's not 100% quite yet, but once it's rendered my timeline, we'll be able to see it a bit smoother. Okay, so what's going on here? Hello. So it looks like the directions of the horizontal animation are going the wrong way both times. So we're not too far. I think in terms of the fade out animation, we're not too far off, but we'll see that in a sec. So, so the problem is that the animations are going both the wrong way. So I'm going to just experiment with this. So maybe it's minus 100, and hopefully, so it's just about playing around with each of those. Oi, almost. With each of those animations, with each of those values rather. So we're really close, really close. But you can see it's not totally lined up, which is really frustrating because, well, maybe we just have to change the y-axis a little bit. I wonder if z-axis, is it z or y? No, z. Not z. Right. So we're nearly there. I think. See, when we get to that stage, it doesn't really matter if we manipulate the planes, the axis planes, too much from that position, because it will essentially be invisible. So if and it will trick the eye into seeing it otherwise. So I grab. I've just moved the x-axis a little bit. I don't know if that's gonna. That didn't add a keyframe, so hopefully that's just moved it. But hopefully not in this position. Okay, right, that wasn't too bad then. But the the fade was not at the right position for me, so I think we need to change it somewhere. So it's 100% here. So it needs to be gone by that point. So I think maybe we just have to fade it out quicker and fade that in quicker. So it gives the illusion. So it gives the illusion that it's flipping around. Boom! Yeah, not far off. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Didn't mean to press M. So that's that then. So that's basic. That's such a simple animation. Now I'm going to tweak it a little bit because I think it's a bit too fast. So maybe we'll just show us how to do that as well. So I'm going to start the animation later in the process. So I'm going to wonder if I can highlight all of these and just move them across. See, I'm learning After Effects too. Render. So it's not, a lot of animation work is just suck it and see, for want of a better term. Okay, so we've got enough of that at the beginning. And you know what, I think that's all right. Now we've got that space at the beginning, I think it sort of spreads out the animation quite nicely. So now we're going to export this. So we're going to add that to the render queue. Make sure my render queue is empty. Save composition. Composition, add to render queue. Now last time we made sure it was the best settings here. Which it is still, and it's RGB alpha. Well, we got no alpha this time, so that's cool. So we're going to then render that. Okay, cool. Now the next process is actually making a GIF out of that mofo. So that'll be part 3, and we'll be opening our movie into Photoshop and looping that indefinitely. So yeah, so like, subscribe. Apologies for the slowness of the computer and the umming and erring on my part, but this is new to me too. So hopefully in the next few episodes I'll get better at that. Anyway, thanks again. Like, subscribe, share. If you've got any other queries or questions or anything that I can help with or I can find, yeah, just put them in the comment section. And next time we'll be going into Photoshop and then making this a GIF. Thanks very much. Bye bye.